Patus. In today's session, we will be understanding the family member in French language. So let's start. And yes, no family is complete without a mother. And in French, we say mother as mère, mother as mère. And we also have a sweet word for this word mère in French. We say it as maman. Like in English, we have two words, mother and mom. In Hindi, we have ma, mummy, like this. We have a sweet word in French language also for mère. It is maman. And we say father in French as simply père. Father as père. Mère, père. Now, what is the sweet word of père? Like in Hindi, we say papa. Similarly, French kids also greet their father at home by simply calling him papa. So, the formal words are père for father, mère for mother, and the sweet words are papa and maman. Now, what are the words for grandfather and grandmother? You see, in English and in French, we have several alphabets, several words with the exact same spelling like we have it in English. But don't forget the golden rule. The golden rule states that yes, we never have to pronounce the words like we do it in English. So even though you can see the same spelling as it is in English for grand, but in French, we are going to pronounce it as cron. The D in the end is for decoration. Don't forget the French pronunciation rules. So the D in the end will be silent. We will say grandfather simply as grand-père. Grand-père for grandfather and grandmother simply as grand-mère. Grand-père for grandfather, grand-mère for grandmother. Now, we say son. We say son in French simply as fils. You see the L here is for decoration. Okay, you don't have to make any sound of this L. This is just for decoration, and the S in the end will be pronounced completely as it is an exception. So yes, you will pronounce this word like fils. Fils means son. Now, how do we say daughter in French? Okay, we say daughter in French simply as fille. Again, you have to notice one thing, that like we have kept L silent in son, same thing will be done with the daughter as well. Okay, the 2L will remain silent. But we have one important pronunciation rule behind this. Let's understand that. Now, please see the cursor. You have to notice that whenever 2L are between I and E, please listen to me once again. I am not saying any vowels. I am specifically saying that I and E. Whenever the two L are between I and E, we always have to change the sound of 2L to Y. Y. So how we are going to pronounce daughter in French? It will be fille. I repeat it once again. Father as père, mother as mère, grandfather, grand-père, grandmother, grand-mère, son as fils, daughter as fille. All right, now let's understand some sweet words for grandfather as well. Like in Hindi, we say dada, but at home we simply call him Baba, Amma. Right now, we have sweet words in French language as well for grandfather and grandmother. What are they? Okay, so papi, papi. Okay, the E in the end is for decoration. We know very well that we pronounce I in French as E. So papi, pepe, papi, pepe. We know the rule that whenever accent is there on the E, accent towards right, then we have to make the sound of A. So there are two accents, so we will pronounce it as pepe, papi, pepe, mami, meme. And so, okay, in the previous slide, we have understood the word for daughter and son. Now, how do we say grandson or granddaughter? We know the word for small. Pati, small, masculine, right? Pati for small, masculine. Patit. Okay. Here, the last alphabet is T, so I'm keeping it silent. Here, the last alphabet is E, so I am making the complete sound of both the T's. It is patit. I repeat the pronunciation once again. It is pati for masculine, patit for small, feminine. Okay. So how we are going to say grandson? Simply pati fees. Pati fees for grandson, granddaughter as patit fee. Pati fees, patit fee. Grandson, granddaughter. All right, let's proceed further. Now, we will say aunt in French simply as tante. In English, we say aunt. So in French, you can see there is a quite similarity. It is tante. Aunt as tante, uncle as oncle. Oncle. You see how similar English and French languages are? And one more thing that we have to notice here is, in English, we pronounce it as uncle. But in French, we have to make the sound of on. Okay? Oncle, tante, oncle, and we say kid in French simply as enfant, enfant. Okay, to make the pronunciations bit easy, I'll tell you some basic pronunciation rules. Okay, whenever you see en, an, on, we always have to make the sound of on. All these different words have same sound. Okay, like how we are pronouncing aunt, taunt, sound is there. How we are pronouncing uncle, oncle, sound is again there. And now we say, okay, in English, you might have read this word infant. Infant means a small baby. So the word infant in English is actually borrowed from this French word enfant. The T in the end will remain silent. Before T, we have AN and it is starting with EN. We know what are the sounds of EN and AN. So it is enfant, enfant, enfant for kid or child. Now, okay. So we say cousin brother and cousin sister in French simply as cousin, cousin. Do you remember that when we were doing nationalities, we have seen it thoroughly that whenever the S is between two vowels, so we have to change the sound of S to Z. If you don't know this rule, please go and watch the lesson of nationalities. Now, cousin, cousin, S is between two vowels, so we have to make the sound of Z. Cousin for cousin brother and cousine for cousin sister. Here also the S is between two vowels. So here also we have to change the sound of S to Z. I repeat all these words once again. Listen to me carefully. It is taunt for aunt, oncle for uncle, enfant for kid, cousin for cousin brother, cousine for cousin sister, tante, oncle, enfant, cousin, cousine. I repeat it. Tante, oncle, enfant, cousin, cousine. All right, let's proceed further. Now, okay, how do we say brother and sister? Brother simply as frère, frère for brother, and sister as simply sir. Like in English, what do we say? Sir. The same pronunciation goes for sister in French. Okay. Sir means sister, and this is how we are going to pronounce it. Frère for brother, sir for sister, brother, sister, frère, sir. Frère, sir. All right. Now, let's understand how do we say boy and girl. Boy and girl. So you see, in French, we have several meanings for one word. We have seen this word earlier as well for daughter. Now, you must understand that the same word can be used to say several things. You can use this word to say daughter as well as a girl. Okay, and you know the pronunciation 2 LR between I and E. So we will simply pronounce it as fille. Fille for girl and daughter, and boy simply as garçon. Again, you can see on is there in the end. So what sound am I making? Oh, garçon. Okay, whenever you see there is an accent below the C, it means we have to change the sound to bit soft side. Okay, garçon for boy, fille for girl as well as daughter. Garçon, fille. Now, these are the formal words. What are the informal words? Mac. On street, they simply call it as boy as Mac and girl as fille. For formal and informal word is muff. Mac, the street word for boy, muff, the street word for girl. All right, let's understand some more vocabulary. Okay, so the boy and girl are now grown up, and we say men in French as homme. You know the rule very, very well that in French, H is for decoration. H is a silent alphabet. Okay. So, like in Ritik Roshan, we never pronounce the H. Similarly, in French language also, we will keep the sound of H silent. Whenever you see any word starting with H, please skip the sound of H and start the pronunciation from the next alphabet. So we will say men in French as homme. Homme, not home. No, H will be silent. So homme for men, femme for woman, homme, femme, homme, femme. All right. Now, see, these are the words for men and women. Now, how do we say husband and wife? Like you have seen that we have only one word to say girl and daughter. Similarly, we have only one word to say wife as well as woman. Okay, there is only one word to say wife as well as woman. It is femme. Femme for wife, and husband, the one who gets the mar, it's mari. There is I in the end, so we will make the sound of E. Mari for husband, and femme for wife as well as woman. Husband, wife, mari, femme. Okay, now we will say friends in French simply as ami, ami. Okay, we know that we pronounce A in French as A. A is pronounced as A, I is pronounced as E. So we will pronounce French in French simply as ami, ami. Okay, and if you are talking about any female friend, you have to put extra E afterwards, but the pronunciation remains exactly the same. Ami, ami. Now, okay, how do we say girlfriend and boyfriend? We will simply say it as copain, copain, and girlfriend as copine, copain, copine. Okay, this can be used to say boyfriend as well as best friend or friend. Copain, copine. I repeat it, copain. The N is in the end, so I'll keep it partially silent. Copain. But here the last alphabet is E, so I will make the complete sound of N for girlfriend. It is copine, copain, copain, copine. All right. So, yes, that's all for today's session. And I'll see you very soon in the next class. Au revoir. Enchanté et c'est tout pour aujourd'hui. Merci.